the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. We the people as our beat and rhyme. We're dropping old school values every time. Extreme honesty with a fresh twist. Breaking it down, you don't wanna miss. It's freedom talk, loud and proud. Voice of the people, can't be cowed. Every week, we speak our mind. For love of country, it's one of a kind. So grab a seat, let the BRANE Show roll. We're serving up truth, heart and soul. Brian and Shane, with that patriot steel. For the people, by the people, of the people, let's go. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall. It's the BRANE Show, coming in hot every week. We bring the truth when we speak. Red, white, and blue, the bulls stand tall. We the people, united won't fall.
This is for America!
Shut the f*** up!
Yep. All right.
You know the problem with Hollywood is? They make shit unbelievable, unremarkable shit.
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair.
Will you fight? No! We will run! And we will live!
Shame on you. This could be the greatest night of our lives. But you're gonna let it be the worst.
And I guarantee a week won't go by in your life you won't regret walking out, letting them get the best of you.
Well, I'm not going home.
Day may come when the courage of men fails, but it is not this day.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
I'm not saying it's gonna be easy.
You're gonna work harder than you ever worked before.
I really do believe that together we can accomplish anything.
Because we'll never stop learning and we'll never stop growing.
Failure is not an option.
That's how winning is done.
Believe me when I say
We can break this army here. It has made us brothers.
I say to you, what every warrior has known since the beginning of time.
You've got to get mad.
I mean plumb mad dog mean.
If you would be free men, then you must fight to fulfill that promise. Let us cut out their living guts
1 inch at a time.
And they will know what we can do!
Let no man forget how menacing we are. We are lions.
This is your time. Seize the day. Never surrender.
Victory or death.
So come on then! Take it!
This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
All right, let's fly! My name is the Lord. When I
tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they'll never take
our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina. Energy to do our thing, get your camera. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Oh yeah! Man, that just abruptly ended. What the hell? It was supposed to be like a fade out or something, but like I guess I clicked something wrong. Hey, what's up everyone? My name is Brian, that is Shane. You're watching the BRANE Show. Thanks for coming on. Yeah, we did not do Salty Saturday this morning. I actually barely got here. And we don't sleep to dream. We sleep to build stamina. I have not slept, so I have very little stamina. However, I am here, and I'm ready to rock. And we already got some supers and stuff. We're talking about some awesome things today. But before I get into that, I want to ask my brother, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I'm having a really good day. It's been like, been thirsty though. Yeah, thirsty.
So the vases just keep getting bigger and bigger. That's what we're doing now.
I don't think I have a bigger vase in the house.
No, we need next week. It just needs to be a 5-gallon bucket. I need you to pick up a 5-gallon bucket.
Hold it on my shoulder.
All
Good
right.
morning. Appreciate you guys all being here. Brian and I haven't been sleeping, been working really hard for you guys.
Working my butt off.
We appreciate you coming.
Listen, I know that some of you guys asked me to put the mugs up so you can buy the Shane size mug, and I know I have dropped the ball on that, and I'm sorry. So I'm humbly request your forgiveness. It will be up by tomorrow night.
It'll happen.
Listen, what we're talking about today, we're talking about Kash, Patel, and Dan Bongino, the directors of the FBI, and they've done some interviews lately that confuse Shane and I, and we are, just because people think the way we do doesn't mean they're beyond criticism. And I believe there is some criticism here that needs to be dealt out.
100%.
Yeah. And I do see some people on the right that are like, hey man, just give them some time, no big deal. I'm like, hey guys, if this was a left, if the left were running the FBI, you wouldn't be saying that. So let's stop with that.
Well, yeah, you never got anything when they were running the FBI.
Right. Yeah.
So
You didn't even get interviews. Yeah.
At least we're getting a little something, just not enough. Yeah. But I mean, I am going to defend him a little bit, but there's definitely some shenanigans happening here.
Shenanigans. Also, we're talking about the Koof shots.
You're trying to like wade through that. How will
Yeah, just so you guys know,
you can say whatever you want
on YouTube. There's certain things you just can't say,
which is silly, and
we've been demonetized for it. So this story that has to be talked about it's too important not to be. It's going to take a master class of eggshell walking to make sure there's no issues. Also,
what we're going to talk about today, you guys do not want to miss this, is basically a smoking gun,
right,
for the Koof shot.
Yeah. Also, OpenAI, the higher ups of OpenAI have their own bunker because they believe the end of the world is coming. So,
I got to tell you that story freaked me out.
Yeah,
a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
Don't feel like that's a good sign.
Yeah, that was freaky.
Yeah,
especially that they tried to out like their cult leader. And the cult leader's like, I'm back.
Right. We're also going to talk about Trump tacos. And no, it's not what you think it is. But it's great. It's great. We're going to talk about it. And just like we're going to criticize a little bit of Kash, Patel, and Dan Bongino, I'm going to lambast the left for their stupid taco meme. God, the left cannot meme. They're so bad at it. You know why? Because they do it out of anger, and it's not meant to be fun. Like when the right memes, it's funny first, criticism second. They just go full on for the throat. Like they think they're being funny, but they're just being mean all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we have time, there's a couple other stories. There's another AI story that's actually pretty upsetting. If we have time to get into it, that I definitely want to talk to. That'll be our surprise.
Gonna rule our world.
That's gonna be our surprise bonus round if we have time, because I sent it to Shane. I sent Shane basically a bunch of articles, and I said, "Bro, let me know which ones you want to do." I'm actually surprised he didn't pick the enhanced Olympics, because
I thought we talked about that already.
Well, no, we talked about talking about it, but we never actually talked about it.
We never actually talked about it on the show,
bro. It's the enhanced Olympics, and Donald Trump Jr. is one of the investors. Basically, you want to do an Olympics where everyone's just roided out, dude, and like cybernetic implants.
Dude, sign me the hell up for watching that.
Bro, I have no interest in watching the Olympics. None. But you know what I would watch? I would watch some 32-year-old guys who are a minute away from a heart attack because they have been genetically altered to the max and just beating the crap out of each other.
A heart attack or like committing genocide on a city.
Right. You can see the veins in their face.
Essentially the Running Man movie.
One of them has like a robot arm. There's like I'm like, I want to see that, bro.
We even invented those yet? All right.
Yeah. But you know it will. That's what I'm saying. Like if this thing takes off, like cybernetic implants and, cyborg parts and steroids and all the science is going to go crazy because capitalism drives innovation.
I guess people want to cut off their good arms and legs so they can win the enhanced Olympics. I'm not sure. We'll have to see where that goes.
I don't know, but I want to watch that. I would watch that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, it's going to be a good day. But first, we got some super chats from our friends. Kenneth the Rogue, who has been a member now for a long time, had a milestone for this channel, 19 months.
Woo!
Damn, Kenneth just supporting the ever-living crap out of us. Thank you, my friend. You are a BAMF. And he also, just to put the button on his membership, he sent a $20 super chat to make sure that we are fully aware. And we are, sir, of your support. Thank you so much, my friend.
That's right. We love you, Ken. And nobody talks shit about Canada. Okay, I'm just telling you right now.
No one.
Nobody.
Except for Ken. Ken can talk shit.
Who? Ken can talk shit. He's from Canada. Yeah. And also John Burns.
And John Burns, yeah. Christy's Corner also sent $4.99. Thank you, Christy. Appreciate it. Very cool. Chappie sent to someone a BRANE membership. Awesome.
Woo.
I love memberships.
And we will be doing our member show after this.
Yep. If I'm awake, we'll see.
Brian can sleep, and I'll just talk to you guys. Okay?
Yeah. Chappie also sent $5. We don't sleep to dream. We sleep to build stamina. Let's go. Thank you, Chappie. You are amazing.
That intro motivates me so much. Thank you, Chappie. Appreciate that.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to jump right into it. We are working on a pretty big project, and we are under NDA, our own internalized
We're
NDA.
under our own NDA. I love that.
Right. So we can't speak about it right now.
We can't speak about it at all, which is hilarious. You're going to have to find us elsewhere in order to speak about it.
Right. That's true.
That's true. Those of you who know.
Yeah, if you know, you know. But we're working on a pretty big project that should be...
We got to stop talking about it over here.
Launching pretty soon. And the DC channel is going cool. Shane actually helped out with that today, this morning, which I'm stoked about.
I did a DC thing.
Yeah, it was great. Great. All right, man. Let's jump right into it, dude. Let's talk about Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, the FBI directors, the guys in charge of our FBI.
Yes, the director and the assistant director.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Right. Director, and so Kash is the director, and Dan is the assistant director. By the way, Kash and Dan sound like an awesome buddy cop TV series from
like Butch Cassidy and Sundance or something
from like
that.
the 80s. Kash and Dan.
Patel
okay.
and Bongino. Look, Patel and Bongino sound like a couple of foreign guys.
Yeah.
Right? Or a law firm.
That's true. Yeah. Patel and Bongino, we will fight for you. Or a couple of foreigners. So here's the deal. When Kash was lobbying to become FBI director, when he was out there making the rounds because he was being he was in the middle of what those hearings, whatever they're called. The
congressional, the Senate hearings to be approved.
Right. He was out there heavily criticizing the FBI, the current FBI. And he was saying things like, listen, day one, I'm getting you the Epstein files. Hey, listen, day one, we're going to find this. Listen, day one. A lot of day one promises.
Yeah, from a lot of people, that's really embarrassing at this point.
Yeah, it's embarrassing because we're now on like day like 137, and we're like, what's going on? What's the deal? And there was an interview about 14 days ago on Fox, and another interview yesterday, I believe it was, And we're going to break down some of this. So what we were promised when Kash was lobbying for that position was full transparency. And I would argue that what we're getting right now is not transparency. I think what we're getting is pseudo-transparency.
Yes, I agree with that.
It looks like we're getting transparency because this dude's out there doing interviews. He's talking to the press. He's communicating information. But I would argue that none of the information in any way actually matters to the public. Doesn't move the needle. Now, does that mean that there's stuff behind the scenes that we aren't aware of, that they can't speak about right now or whatever? Sure, possibly. But that doesn't negate the fact that what we've gotten since they've taken over is not real transparency. It's just wait,
yeah,
wait more, wait some more. Don't worry, it's coming, bro.
Yeah.
How many times can you promise that before we're like, yeah, dude, just stop. I don't.
Yeah, the problem I see is they came in swinging, right? Both Bongino and Patel were like, we're breaking down the doors, and we're gonna let everybody know what's going on. So now you got inside, and listen, we understand there's bureaucracy, there's policy. You got inside and you realize, oh crap, there are steps that must be taken. You can't just come in and say whatever you want because there's investigations going on,
right?
And we need to confirm things. We can't be irresponsible with the information. We got to make sure we release it so that, other people aren't harmed or other situations aren't divulged or something else we got going on doesn't get compromised. And so the way they're communicating that to us is incorrect. This is what I think the problem is. I like Kash Patel. I trust Kash Patel. I like Dan Bongino. I trust Dan Bongino. I believe in their heart they want to, because they weren't. I don't believe that when they were out there doing books, doing podcasts, doing shows, that their intention was to get these positions. I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they were just passionate about this. Seems like a bunch of bullshit. What they have forgotten is that even though they are on the other side, we are still on this side saying, okay, until you show us something, it's still a bunch of bullshit. Right. We don't get to see what you see. So their communication to us should be, listen, I know we said day one, okay? And when we got here, things changed. Unfortunately, we got in here and there are procedures and policies in place, and we have to be careful. We will eventually give out all the information. We will be completely transparent, but we have to slow roll this. And this was our mistake because we didn't understand how it was going to work on the inside.
Right.
So that's what they should be saying right now is, listen, Pam Bondi screwed up by saying, oh, it's coming out, all the info is coming out tomorrow, or whatever. And then they gave all those information that had already been released to social media people.
Yeah. The Pam Bondi stuff was insulting. It was
these
insulting.
guys work for her.
And they work for her. Yeah. It was insulting because they act as if they were finally releasing the Epstein documents, but they gathered a bunch of information that had already been released, had this big photo op, thing with a bunch of right-wing influencers with letters that said like Epstein Files Phase 1, all complete smoke and mirrors. It was just theater, bro. It was kabuki theater, and they didn't expect us to react poorly. That it's insulting because they're assuming that we are so stupid, and that we're just going to blindly on their side, that we're not going to criticize this insanity, because that was insane. It would have been better had they never done anything.
Let me give you a scarier view of it. Not just do they think we're so stupid, but are they so stupid? So did she not know that this information was already public? Was she not aware that everybody was already aware of this shit? She's a busy lady. I don't know if she's like going down the rabbit hole on Epstein shit. You know what I mean?
It's true.
So she may not have even known that her underlings, who she was brand new to the Justice Department, might have been like, hey, here you go. Here's everything. Right. And then she gives it out, releases it, not being aware that this is information that's already out there. And she looks like a big jackass. It might have, she didn't come into a loving, warm embrace when she took over. So I think they came in immediately, got some really weird structural information where they can't just give. And I also believe when they got there was no info. This is the other problem. And this is something else that Kash and Dan need to say. Look, we got here and all of the stuff that we told you we're going to show you right away, it didn't exist. It was being hidden. Yeah. It was undisclosed. Yeah. Right. We need to take all this time to like do the actual we thought the investigation was what was occurring for the last 4 years.
Right.
But it wasn't.
No one was investigating anything. Right.
So now we're starting from scratch, and I'm sorry, guys. We're gonna need a year.
Yeah, guys. Not only was no one investigating anything, but the evidence that was already procured has now been deleted and destroyed. So we're gonna need some time. Well, then, yeah, say that and stop saying, "Hey, give us a couple weeks." Stop saying, "Give us a couple weeks." It's driving me nuts.
They're in protection. They're trying to protect themselves. That's when you do that. Okay, and everybody is familiar with this. How many times have you told somebody you're going to do something, and for whatever reason you can't or you didn't, and you're like, "Oh, a couple more days."
Right.
Oh, a couple more days, and you realize you're digging the hole deeper.
Yeah.
You're getting further into debt with these people. And guess what? We're to the point where these are people that we like very much, people that we follow, but they're losing credibility with us the further they go, right?
Yeah, I've been watching Dan Bongino for a long time.
Yeah, years.
And we've seen him publicly criticize this kind of behavior on his show, you know. And I sort of feel sorry for Dan, and we're going to watch a clip right now. I sort of feel sorry for Dan because shit just got real. Like, he went from I get to sort of just speak my mind on my show and speak truth to power and sort of tell it how it is. And now I'm wearing a suit and there's literally
no boss.
I have a boss and there's bright lights on my face and there's rules and there's laws and I can't talk about any of this. And even worse, I see how bad it really is. Like, imagine that. Imagine getting that job thinking, I'm gonna do things for the American public. You get in there like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I can tell you, as somebody who's been on the inside, who's worked for the federal government closely, I am worked in public relations for the federal government. I can tell you that they are trying to hide way more things. They talk about being visible, right? But we're looking at how can we keep this from getting out? How can we keep that from getting out? Oh, how do we get ahead of this?
Right.
The federal government does not want people to know, especially if it's going to paint a bad color on the federal government. And once you get inside, there are all these rules in place that make you culpable. Now you're a part. You're one of us.
Right.
You're in the cult.
Yeah.
So
seeing Dan without his baby Gap T-shirt and his cool contrasty lights, seeing him under these really heavy spotlights and that linen suit, he looks uncomfortable.
They both look. I mean, yeah, they're out there. They're tap dancing, bro.
Yeah,
they're tap dancing.
Okay, so we're gonna watch this clip.
He's not a good dancer.
We're gonna watch this clip. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
He's a Secret Service guy,
right?
That's where he came from.
We're gonna watch this clip, and I'm trying to show you guys this narrative via small portions of this interview instead of watching the entire thing. Hopefully, it tracks with y'all. Here we go.
6, 7, 8 years ago, and we're still talking about it today because as Congress is working rigorously with us, the Crossfire Hurricane documents are coming fast and hard, and they're being sent there unredacted so we can have full account of.
Yeah, real quick. Gigantic face. Is it me?
I have to read it carefully.
Or do they keep talking about the same right-wing sort of talking points? They keep attacking the Crossfire this and Hillary this, and it's we get it, guys. We understand that all that bad stuff happened, and in no way does any of us think that it's not true. And maybe you can investigate it, but every time they come out and they start talking about this Russia report and this, all this J6, I feel like they're just trying to throw us a bunch of scraps, some red meat, so that we shut up. And most of us know that is not moving the needle. Like, oh man, maybe someone goes to jail for the hurricane document. All right, cool.
Bro, no one's gone to jail for anything. No one's been tried for anything. All of these things and the reason why they're talking about them is because these are the things they promised. When I'm there, I'm going to uncover the Crossfire Hurricane. I'm going to uncover, the Hillary stuff. I'm going to uncover J6. I'm going to do all these things. That's the problem.
Right.
All these promises, they have not done any of them yet.
Yeah, nothing. All right, so watch what Maria says. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. That's the issue. The issue is that. And the farther we get away from Hillary's email server and all this stuff, the less I care. Like,
that shit's destroyed, by the way. There ain't none of that.
You're not gonna find it. You're gonna find it. Yeah, there's no Hillary. There's no server anymore, guys. Anyways, let's move on from that. Let's listen to what Maria says.
Accountability, and that's how you restore what the trust that was lost to the American public when it comes to the FBI.
Yeah, but come on, Director, with all due respect, we've been talking about this for a long time, and I've been demanding accountability for many, many years. You mentioned Comey, Strzok, and the rest. They've got TV shows. They've got media platforms. They're fine. There's been no accountability.
Well, look, it's a fair criticism, but what I will tell people is we weren't here in the FBI in the last 5 years when we had statute of limitations that were still in play, where we could have investigated criminal conduct. Most of these statute of limitations are 5 years old, and we will investigate.
Hold the phone. Then don't work on those things. If there's a statute of limitation for this or that or this, cool. All right, move on. Move on. You know what? There's definitely not a statute of limitations on the Epstein files. 100%.
Well, there will be eventually. But here's the thing is, like, tell us what you're working on. Don't say, trust me, bro. Okay, I'm sorry. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
No. Listen, we trust you. So we've trusted you up till this point. Now you need to give us some stuff.
Right.
Look, we're doing very specific investigations. We can't talk about what's holding it up exactly, but I can promise you that it's going to be good. And to tell you what, if you don't have an answer in 180 days, you can hold me accountable. And then he needs to go back there and crack that whip on his FBI agents and say, we need this information. And then when 180 days comes around, you come out and say, we don't have it. There's not enough evidence. Here's what we do have. Here's like a video, and here's some documentation that we do have. That's it. It was all destroyed. The people behind us made sure this was never going to come out. And now I'm not going to sit here and hold the bag, because you know what it looks like? It looks like these guys are holding water for the last administration.
Yeah, it sort of looks like they got in there and they were like, this is way more dangerous than we thought it was. And
or they don't know anything. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I've been saying from the beginning. They've been promising there's all this evidence. We're going to find out all this stuff. And they got there and said, what do you mean we don't know anything?
There's nothing?
What do you mean there's nothing?
Wait.
And then Bondi's telling a random fucking person in a restaurant that there's 10,000 videos of Epstein sleeping with little girls.
Yeah, why would she do that?
And she gets caught on camera by one of what's his name's stringers, James O'Keefe's stringers.
By the way, James O'Keefe is a BAMF, dude. That guy's awesome.
Yeah,
I used to really dislike him because he has that sort of like swarmy,
oily used car salesman.
Yeah, he has that used car salesman vibe, like for sure. Fucking, you gotta stop the face.
Dude, I could fucking drown myself with this thing. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, you could. The
problem with drinking from this is if you drink too much, you could drown right here at the desk.
Yeah, it's so distracting when you pick that giant thing up.
I'm thirsty though, and I put it in this giant damn thing. So.
When I first saw James O'Keefe, it was like on YouTube 2.0, like 15 years ago. Before YouTube had like all the amenities it has now.
Right.
And I remember watching some 480p thing with the Veritas logo behind him. He goes, today we're talking about blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, this guy feels like he really wants to sell me like an aftermarket warranty for my car.
Yes.
And he has that vibe where he just feels sort of slimy. But then the dude leaves Veritas, and he's been responsible for breaking the most insane stories over the last 5 or 6 years. It's crazy.
Well, and what's funny is nobody cares. That's the weird thing about the internet. Like he breaks some crazy stuff, and It's just like water off of people's shoulders, man. They just
Oh yeah,
keep
it's
going.
real popular for like 22 hours, not even a full day.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a shame about this Epstein stuff, though. So I know we're going to talk a little more about it, but so Kash Patel says he didn't kill himself.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
He literally looks in the camera. Are you going to play that?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Hold on, we're gonna get there. But first, I want to do the accountability thing. Yeah, that's the craziest part for me. Here we go.
Criminal conduct where we find a righteous case to do so and the law and the facts allow us to. But a lot of it we're precluded from. So we'll take the criticism, and it's rightfully so, that could we have done more in the past? Sure, people before us could have. But what we can do now is continue to put out the documents and the information that these people
look at
withheld
Dan's
from the American
face. He's
public.
like,
and I'm just telling you right now, as much as we know about Crossfire Hurricane,
bastard.
he and I just found out more last week. And we're continuing to work with Congress to put those documents out. That's how vindictive
He
and
also
vicious
looks like
the
he's
former
aged
leadership
like
structure here
10
was.
years
Not
in
only did
10
they
days.
bastardize the FISA process and lie to the American public,
Yeah.
they withheld and hid documentation and put it in rooms where people weren't supposed to.
Yeah, another thing too. I know I keep stopping this, but I'm getting a little tired of Kash constantly saying they did this and they did that and they did this and they. Who, Kash? Who withheld that information? Who hid those documents? Which judge stopped that trial? Which FBI investigator decided that wasn't worth the time? Who? Why is it always they? Who?
I'm tired of the shadow men too. Well, here, check this out. So he just said they are working with Congress to get files released. Okay. In general, FBI doesn't have to wait for Congress to release files.
Right.
I feel like he's using other people as excuses, to delay, to get more time. I'm telling you, bro, I don't think they have shit. I don't think they have any information. Because if they do have information and they're not releasing it, it points to trying to protect someone. And there is a theory that if you go back to Florida, when Epstein did get in trouble, right, and he was actually, he got caught for underage minors, and he actually went to court and all that stuff. The prosecutor in Florida at the time was told to leave him alone. They didn't say who told him to leave him alone, but it's thought that some 3-letter agency was who said to leave him alone, and that it's possible that Epstein was actually doing work for either one of our 3-letter agencies or a foreign 3-letter agency, and so he may actually have been an operative.
So he was a CI for either FBI, CIA, or like the Mossad or something.
Something was happening where he was. They told him to leave him alone.
Someone told Pam Bondi, who was also, wasn't she AG of Florida at the time?
Yeah, she not at the time. No, not at the time when it happened. She became afterwards.
Okay,
but no, But that's what I'm saying. Like there could be some really super secret work here that could mess up a whole bunch of stuff going on that he's involved with, and that might be the other reason why we're not getting the information. But
because it's so much more twisted and messed up than we think it is. And think about this: there's a billionaire that was having sex with children on his own island and bringing people there to also molest these children.
Right.
And what I just said was there's possibly something even more twisted and messed up than that. Holy crap. Like that's when you realize how insane it has to be for Dan Bongino to be like this.
Let me tell you what's really scary. What if the government knew what he was doing the whole time?
Oh my God.
What if he was being surveilled and he was doing these terrible things to children, and the government said, what we're trying to achieve is more important and we're just going to let it keep happening? And what if the evidence points to that?
Wow.
That would be a big reason why these people aren't saying anything, because it could destroy the entire foundation of the inner working of the government. And now they're part of that beast. So, I mean, they were afraid he was going to come in and destroy the FBI, right? That was what all the Democrats said during his congressional hearing, to be, guess what? He's protecting the FBI.
Right. So, yeah. So what if all the blackmail videos and stuff they got on these various business tycoons and celebrities and politicians and princes and all that's right. What if that is more important to the CIA than protecting children?
Right. And what if these operatives...
And let me ask you a question,
like,
Shane.
Yeah.
Do you think that is more important? Like, just generally?
No, hell no. Of course
No. Not you. Do you think that the CIA would think that's more important than protecting a child?
Oh, yeah. History has shown us that they are compromised.
Right. So this is not a conspiracy. This is not really a wild theory, dude.
No.
There's historical evidence.
Protection of the government over protection of the individual. 100%. But it would be very interesting. What if they have all these operatives who are on camera, who are caught, people who are going to be busted, said, oh, yeah, go ahead. Bust me. I'll bring it all down. I'll tell everything. Because there are parts, and they're probably sitting back going, how can we be surgical? And this word surgical has been used a lot. Okay, how can we be surgical about how we deal with this and still protect things that aren't truly bad, right? Without blowing up everything. And what if this goes back to when Trump's first 4 years of office and his SGA? Okay, it does, because guess what? Epstein's been doing this shit for a long time.
Yeah.
So listen, there's a lot here, and all I can tell you is that this feels disingenuous to me.
Right.
Very disingenuous.
So this is what he says here. Watch this the way he says.
So look, and it's a good thing we're here now to clean it up, and you're about to see a wave of transparency.
Watch.
What do you mean?
Just give us about a week or two.
Okay. Well,
it's been 2 weeks.
Just give us about a week. When I saw that, just give us about a week or two. I looked down and looked at when this video went online, 14 days ago. And my mind literally played the Larry David music. Dun, 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 dun. Dude, okay, so let's go to I just really want to get that point out. He just promised that it's been 2 weeks. I did.
How many times can you say that until your credibility is completely gone? Like, literally, this could be it.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's a problem. Like, it's nonstop. Every time this guy comes out on interviews, they promise things that just don't happen.
Don't happen. Yeah.
And the whole surgical thing, I like what you said. It's like, because they can take a chainsaw to all this, release everything, and let the cards fall. But then they can possibly destroy like the law of governing in this country forever.
It could bring down the entire government.
Right. So he needs to be surgical and find fall guys that won't completely destroy the...
Yes.
Or
they need time to murder everybody who can turn false testimony.
Right.
That's going to take time to have a lot of car accidents and deaths on vacation.
Yeah. We need we need CPAP machines to stop working randomly, and we need things to go poorly for all these people that could testify before a grand jury.
Look at Maria's face is all of our fucking faces.
Right.
The face that she has right now is all of our fucking faces.
Really, bro?
Really,
bro? Really, bro? Bro.
Come on.
Bro. I like what Mexican Iron Man said here. Brain team, I just need you guys to give me 1 to 2 weeks, guys. For sure this time. No, really, yeah, this time. All right,
you get 2 of those with me, Mexican Iron Man, and then you're done.
This is the Epstein. This is the part that it actually like. I don't normally get mad during interviews, but my heart, like my blood pressure went up.
Oh,
because I know he's lying, and like
I have an explanation for why he said
blatantly lying. And dude, when they go to Dan to like confirm it.
Yeah.
He looks so uncomfortable when he has to confirm the lie. And it's obvious he's lying. All right, here we go.
Well, I think it's something else, but that's associated with what you're saying.
Okay, here we go.
People don't believe it.
Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
That's not what he was saying before.
Not at all. So
that's not what he was saying before.
The guy just touted his credentials and talked about what he knew about what he has done, where he has been, all that stuff, right? Nothing is different between then and now. Yet before he was saying everything about this says someone killed him. So how are you flip-flopping so hard? The only difference is now you're part of the beast. The only difference. Yeah. You had the same credentials a year ago, bro, and the same information.
I think, well, does he say here, trust me, he killed himself? Is that in this interview, or was it?
I believe it's this one. Yeah, want me to keep playing it?
Yeah.
He killed himself.
Sorry, I got it.
Look at Dan, looks like he's going to throw up.
The awkward.
My God.
That awkward pause. And then he killed himself.
He looks like a fucking cancer patient, bro.
He's looking rough, dude.
Usually it looks like a UFC fighter.
How is it that Dan Bongino looks more pale than I do?
Or than I do.
Or even more pale than you. Yeah. Hold on. Here we go.
Who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated
Sure.
housing.
Okay, Kash, yeah.
You know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
Watch this.
He killed himself. Again, you want me to get... I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Okay. Not what Dan Bongino was saying a year ago.
Well, here's the thing. And maybe that's why he feels sick, is in his mind, he's running through all of the episodes where he insisted that he did not kill himself. And now he has to go on national TV and say he didn't kill himself. It's the delivery, Dan, that's the problem. So there's evidence. Okay, this is the evidence that they're going to give us. We are going to get evidence, by the way.
Are we?
We're going to get evidence that they're going to provide us, and that was just put out yesterday, I think, that apparently there's a video footage that proves Epstein didn't kill himself. And
didn't kill himself or killed himself?
That he killed himself. Sorry. Yeah. There's video footage that proves he killed himself. So here's what I believe the evidence is going to be. Okay. And you guys listen, if this comes out and I'm right, let me know. I believe there's a camera that covers the entrance to his cell. It doesn't show the cell. It doesn't show him in the cell. Doesn't show who's in the cell with him. And I believe what they did is they ran a timestamp from when they knew he was alive till he was dead. And what they're going to tell you is that no one entered or left his cell, and they're going to have camera evidence to prove that.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I will say.
I can manufacture that evidence on my computer in 20 minutes.
I know. But here's the problem. If somebody put that together and said, here you go, boss. He obviously killed himself. Let me show you the footage. They were there before him, right? Now, Kash and Dan, who were guys who would not ordinarily compromise themselves, right? That would give them the ability to just believe what was being told to them. Right. How hard would it be to take footage and run a length of time and not have a timestamp and fake that?
No.
How hard would it be?
It's not hard. I'm an editor, and that's like basic level editing. Like even if there was artifacts and timestamps that you had to change, even that isn't hard. Like with AI now, you can scrub through 6,000 frames in like 2 hours, remove all the timestamps, and then digitally add your own. And nothing, and all the little cuts and clips, you wouldn't even be able to see it happening. There would just be a seamless timestamp.
Nobody's going to believe video anymore. So here's what they need to do. They need to come out and say, okay, let's address the first thing. His guards were asleep or on break or whatever the hell was going on. Okay, let's talk about that one.
Yeah.
Were his guards on sleep? Was he not being watched? What happened to his guards? Okay, number 2, did the cameras go out? Which cameras went out? Where were they located? Walk us through this scenario to show us that he wasn't killed.
Yeah, and here's the question.
That's what they're not doing.
No one has talked to these guards. Not a single person has asked, hey guys, why was one of you guys taking a nap and one of you guys taking a break at this exact time? Is that normal for these 2 guards that are supposed to be on duty watching this dude to just decide I'm going to take a nap and one I'm going to go get some stuff out of the vending machine for 20 minutes solid.
And here's my second question.
Why isn't anyone talking to these people? These are people. They're like the real people that worked in the system. No one can talk to them?
Well, let me ask you a question. In 2025, why the hell isn't there a camera in every cell?
Right.
Why does every cell not? Why is there a camera looking at the door of a cell, but there's no cameras looking at the cell? Probably some sort of prisoner's rights. They can't be watched all the time or something.
Well, then, then also, why did that camera go down? Why?
Well, there was no camera inside the cell. I don't know.
No, there was a camera on the door, though, that did go down. It froze. Convenient.
Well, they're saying that they're the ones who said they're going to show us that nobody came in or left at that time.
They're probably going to show another camera that was pointing out another door that was close enough to clip that door or something. But they said that camera was it froze or something. And then here's another question. And why can't we talk to this guy? The guy who was in the cell with him. The guy who was in the cell with him, who was like this gigantic mountain of a man, ex like military killer. He just happened to have a doctor's appointment at that precise moment. So look at all the math that adds up. At this exact 27-minute period, both guards coincidentally decide at the same time to either take a nap or take a break. The camera watching the door happens to go down. The cellmate inside with Jeffrey Epstein has a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
All these things coincidentally happen, but yet we can't talk to the cellmate. We can't talk to the doctor. We can't talk to either of the guards.
Well, even if we can't, they should be sharing with us what was said.
But I don't understand, like, that. That's way too many coincidences. That's way too many coincidences to add up. Also, and this is beyond insane to me, the bed was shorter than Jeffrey Epstein, which means Jeffrey Epstein had to tie the thing around his neck, tie it to the top of the bed, get a running start, and use his body weight as leverage for the pounds it would take to break his neck. That is not something people can normally do. It wasn't tall enough for gravity to assist him. It would have requiring him to literally throw himself forward in order to make that happen. It's just none of this adds up.
They're not saying, and the evidence, the reason why Kash sounds so confident is it's not because he saw him kill himself. It's because he saw footage. He didn't see anybody enter and leave the cell. That's what he's taking as, trust me, he killed himself. Come on, Kash. Like, dude, do you really trust who get, and this is the other thing. Kash is really trying to be the guy. Like they're hiring more people. He's really trying to build the FBI. He's trying to take care of the FBI, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. But here's the thing. You got a lot of people in the FBI. I mean, you got a lot of people who are on your side in the FBI, but you also got a lot of people working against you.
Yeah.
So, why didn't any of this info come out before? How come the footage was never released before of nobody going in and out of his cell? That's something that could have been done in 2 fucking days.
2 minutes. It could have been done in 2 minutes, bro.
As soon as the conspiracy theories came out, why couldn't they show the video footage?
Right.
Of nobody going or coming from a cell? They didn't. You want to know why? Because they don't want to exonerate it. Because there's some bullshit going on here. And they're being lied to. I believe they're being manipulated by their own people.
Right. All right. So this is the interview that happened 2 days ago. And this is with another guy from Fox Business or Fox News. This is Kash too, by the way.
Time. Welcome to Quantico, Brett.
Is it Brett Baer?
This hasn't been
it's Brett
on
Baer.
TV. This kind of behind the scenes.
Oh, my bad, bro. I thought you were watching it.
Yes. This is where an FBI agent or analyst starts their journey, right?
Absolutely. The first grade facilities that we are trying to dedicate to the men and women who want to join the FBI need some upgrading, as well as the standards that we need them to meet the violent crime. And all of that is engineered right here in Quantico, Virginia. And we're thrilled that you're coming here for a behind the scenes.
Yeah. So applications to be an FBI agent, back in March, it was about 5,600. The last time the Bureau saw monthly figures like this was back in April 2016. But you're seeing big numbers.
We're seeing huge numbers, and I think that's in large.
Yeah, obviously.
Last time Trump was elected?
Right. So last time Trump was elected, now when Trump's in office. Yeah, sure. That's up. We're going to skip ahead a little bit.
To fentanyl that's pouring into America, that's killing an American citizen
there it
almost
is.
every
Top
7
priorities.
minutes.
That's what I want to
Of
get
the
to.
FBI, how it was being operated. Now, after being on the job, for as long as you've been on the job, what about the FBI did you get wrong before becoming director? Like, did you have some preconceived notion that turned out to be wrong about
Yes. I thought I'd be able to come in here and be honest. That is not possible. that is not it, though. That's not something I can do. I don't want to die. I don't want my family to die.
about the Bureau?
I think what I was a critic of was the leadership, people who sat in this seat before me and people who were the deputies and the very senior portions of the Bureau who manipulated and weaponized the Bureau. I was a fierce critic of it because I led the Russiagate investigation and I proved that my predecessors went to a federal court and lied to them just to weaponize the FBI and the DOJ.
Pause it.
That is 100% true.
What'd you say?
Pause it.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the leaders, Cash. This is where the bullshit part comes in.
Definitely wasn't just the leaders. It would be impossible to just be the leaders.
Well, remember Lisa Strzok and her boyfriend? They were not leaders in the FBI. Okay, those were FBI agents. Okay, listen, the FBI is no different than the rest of the country. They're probably split 50-50 along, political lines.
Right.
All right. How much of the 50% is radical to the left or to the right is the real question.
Right.
How many of, because most Democrats, listen, let me tell you, most Democrats, listen, the people on the right have their own problems. Okay. Granted. But most Democrats, like I would say almost all Democrats, hate Trump.
Yeah.
They don't dislike him. They don't not want him to run. They hate his guts. And if he were to die tomorrow, they would throw a party.
Yeah.
I mean,
they think in their minds, they have been fooled to believe that he is the second coming of Hitler.
Right.
And that killing him is justified because he is such a horrible, disgusting fascist.
Right.
Like that's the radical. Yeah.
100%. So maybe 10 to 20% of people on the right, Republicans, probably felt the same way about Biden. Okay. I'm saying a much smaller percentage of people on the right want bad things to happen to people on the left, but a larger portion of people on the left want bad things to happen to people on the right.
Right.
It's just a lack of reasonableness, I guess, or whatever. So what happens in the FBI when half of the agents are on the left? How many of them feel justified that they're doing the right thing, protecting their country by screwing up whatever's going on the right? So, I mean,
they literally feel like they are the righteous heroes when they break the law, destroy evidence, literally remove people's rights, harass people, spy on people. They think that they're the righteous heroes of the story.
Right. And Kash wants to blame the head of the snake. Okay, he wants to blame Comey. He wants to say it's the head of the snake because now he's the head of the snake. And if the body is sick, there's nothing he can do about it necessarily. Or he can, but he's unwilling to because now he wants to make the FBI look good, right? So what he's saying is all the people are great. It was just the head. Okay, bro, it's not the head. You need the body to help the head.
Yeah.
Okay, so if that was the case, then we'd have more information right now.
Well,
people would be helping you.
Remember the text messages that leaked? Like there are agents that were actively not only breaking the law, but blatantly harassing and removing rights of people simply because they were voting for someone that they didn't like. That's insane.
They literally said the words, "We're not going to let him win." We're not going to let him win. I mean, they were confident that they had the ability to stop it. That's treason.
You know that. Like that's treason.
Get mad about your inner agencies trying to overthrow the government. Or
you're mad at J6, a bunch of dudes with cosplaying in Viking gear or whatever and face paint and running in the Capitol and acting like idiots. Not all of them. Some of them just literally just walked in. but some of them were idiots. Those people have no power. None. They didn't even have weapons. They have no ability to actually overthrow anything.
Right.
You're mad at them. You put them in jail for years. For years, you put them in jail. You held them illegally for years and said you're not going to give them a court date so that they would spend even longer in jail than what the minimum sentence for trespassing would be. You broke the law. You took rights away from citizens because you didn't like who they were or what they did or what they said or what they signed up for. But you said nothing about the people working in the federal government as agents, as protectors of the law, who did even worse things, who removed rights, who convinced social medias like Twitter and Facebook, I wouldn't say forced is the wrong word, coerced them to push their guy through and to limit Donald Trump's reach, to deplatform and remove people's ability to speak, removing their First Amendment rights. You have no issue with those people working in the system as part of the structure of the government. But it's cool that the dude in a Viking helmet went to jail for 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Jeez.
Because it's something that you can make happen. You can make it look bad. Now, speaking of the same thing, the J6 pipe bomb, okay? The January 6th pipe bomb. Now, it went off. It was near both the Republican DNC and the Democrat DNC. Harris was near there, right? Okay, it was the same time that J6 was happening, all that. But come to find out, the last administration didn't do any investigation on who that bomber was. They didn't even try to figure out who it was. Because it was a false flag,
bro. Because it was some glowy out there with his face covered and a Trump hat. That's what it was.
Well, the only reason why you don't investigate that is because you know who did it.
Yeah, because it was a Fed. It was one of your guys.
So Patel is saying that they're now investigating it. They've started the investigation now. Okay, so we'll see where that goes. But that's something it's going to come out. It's coming out very soon. All the people who were involved in J6 that were part of the FBI or the CIA.
Yeah, I also want to know who the feds are too. The J6 people are real. That whole thing. You go down that rabbit hole and you're going to go from, I think I know exactly what this is, to holy shit. Like, you think it's just a bunch of rowdy Republicans out there getting wild up by Alex Jones going to the and the Lost Boys. What are they called? The Lost Boys? Proud Boys. Lost Boys. Getting riled up by the Proud Boys and Alex Jones to go into the Capitol and cause some havoc because their guy is lost. You think it's that. But what you don't realize is all the actual confirmed feds that were on scene leading chants, getting the crowd amped up. More than 24 feds were on scene as patriots, getting the crowd crazy for their guy.
Well, maybe not feds, but informants, perhaps people who work for the government, for the 3-letter agencies were out there for sure. They were there
for sure. More than 24.
What they're trying to say is, well, they weren't out there because of us. They were just out there. Okay, that's stupid. Okay, and then
that's the definition of plausible deniability, bud.
Right.
Like, so I'm saying Fed. I'm saying that, by the way, in the general sense. Like, if you're working for the feds, you are a Fed. Whatever.
There's two ways to look at this. Okay, and this is my viewpoint on J6, and I want to close the bet on it. There's not a lot we can do about it. Here's my point. If you're an American citizen who was there and you, on your own free will, broke in to Congress and decided you were going to shut shit down and stop the government from from removing Trump or whatever, from Trump not being the next president again.
Right.
If you were one of those people, you fucked up.
Right.
You made a mistake.
Yeah.
Now, if
6 months in jail, boom, you got it.
Or whatever, maybe longer.
I mean, that's the maximum penalty for what they did.
Maybe you need 2 years. Okay?
No, you don't. Really the fucking law says 6 months. So you get 6 months. You don't get 2 years.
I understand what the law says. I feel personally like they would need more time for doing something so stupid. Okay,
you can feel however you want, but the law says 6 months.
I'm telling you what I feel. I ain't telling you what the fucking law is.
But that's the law. That's the law. So why did they spend 2+ years in jail?
Law. I'm telling you what they deserve.
Well, you're doing what they do. You're like, oh well, because they deserve it, it's okay that they usurp the law.
I'm just telling you what I think, Brian. I'm not telling you what will happen. Okay?
Well, it did happen. They spent over 2 years in jail.
Let me lay out the whole thing.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if they went in on their own, okay, then they deserve a harsh punishment. You don't go into the Capitol and overthrow the government for real. Okay. We're not there yet. Okay. But if undercover agents broke in and then tried to usher everybody inside and wept everybody up and got them inside to go do these things, it's a totally different story.
Yeah.
And the government needs to be punished.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is you should be held personally accountable if you were one of those idiots who went down there and decided you were going to do whatever it took, take down whoever in Congress you needed to make sure it doesn't happen.
Right.
You got way ahead of your skis, bro.
Yeah, you got ahead of your skis.
Tell you.
No, you got ahead of your Viking helmet, homie.
If you were whipped in by a bunch of people trying to make the right look crazy and make Trump look even worse, then the government is guilty. So all what I'm saying is I don't know. Okay, what I'm saying is I don't know. We don't know.
Right.
And that's the problem. We need to know. And guess who knows? This guy knows.
This guy knows.
Or he has people who work for him who knows.
Oh, yeah, no, they definitely can. Well, and remember, there's a bunch of footage. A bunch of right-wing influencers were there, right? So there's all this footage of the event. Crowder actually got every single camera angle publicly available and did a timeline of the events from like minute 1 when there was like a hand of 6 people there to when that one chick got shot in the window, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of footage of a very particular person that was wearing a mask at the start of the event. His mask slipped and he didn't put it back up. This guy was really getting people going. He was like going crazy, chanting in a bullhorn, really getting everyone fired up, bro. And that guy has not spent a single day in jail. When everyone was arrested, that dude conveniently disappeared. And when right-wing investigators contacted him to try to ask him about that, he shut them down. They were denied access. They got restraining orders, and they said he wasn't there when he's on footage as there, and it just happens to be that he works for the federal government.
So there's an easy low-hanging fruit for these guys, right? We've got him on camera. We know he was doing it. Go ahead and be visible on this guy. Why wouldn't Kash and Dan, usher out this dude and be like, fucking explain yourself?
Yeah, explain yourself,
right?
Dude.
Explain what happened here. Who are you? Right?
Yeah.
Or tell us who this guy is.
Right.
And you know why? Because there's only 2 reasons why not. Right? Either 1, he's one of them.
Right.
Or 2, he can get somebody else in a whole lot of trouble if he speaks. It's 1 of 2 things.
Right.
So, don't piss on me and tell me it's raining, bro.
Yeah, bro.
Sorry.
We're going to kill it. We're going to cancel. There's a lot more in this interview. I'll put the link in the description so you guys can go watch it on your own.
It's worth it. These guys are in trouble, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's definitely worth it. Like, bottom line is, as much as we liked Kash a year ago, like, there is some explaining to be done, and he needs to stop promising things he either won't or can't deliver. He's got to stop doing that. It makes him look stupid. It makes everyone that supported him look stupid. Frankly speaking, it makes Trump look stupid. I know Trump's not the one doing it, but Trump's the one who vouched for this dude. Makes everyone look dumb. And you know what's really funny is you would think that this would be an easy thing for Democrats to criticize, right? Where are all the news reports?
They don't want to talk about it at all, bro. They want it to go away.
Yeah.
They want it to go away.
And that's an even bigger smoking gun. Notice that there isn't a single CNN report. He's promised for the 3rd time now. Why aren't you guys talking about it?
Because they don't want that information.
Right. It's just that simple, dude.
They're like, oh yeah, this is working out for us. Just shut up.
Really working out. Just everyone be quiet.
It's funny how people are quiet. And this is one thing you'll notice about us. Notice we're criticizing people on the right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
That's the difference between the left and the right. The people on the left will not criticize people on the left.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
We're going to criticize everyone if they deserve to be criticized.
Yeah, of course. What do you mean? But that's honesty.
But see, that's of course. But see, that's the problem with, then why isn't it of course on the other side?
I don't know. That's a good point.
It's weird. It's like a cult.
I was going to show you this Adam Carolla reaction. I for this. It's like 5 minutes long. But someone, played the interview and he's like, "What are you talking about, Kash?"
Does he really?
Yeah. I'll put that in the description too.
All
right. Let's move on. Let us know what you guys think about this. I know you guys have been talking in the chat. I would like to know what you guys think about all this because, I really want Kash and Dan to expose corruption and transform our 3-letter agencies like the FBI into something that is beneficial for all citizens and not just whoever's paying the bill, not just whoever their guy is. I want a real Federal Bureau of Investigation, not another wing of whatever political party happens to be in power. Do I think that's possible? No.
They asked him about Butler, Pennsylvania. If you when you guys go back and watch the Brett Baer interview, right? He asked him about Butler, Pennsylvania. It sounds like President Trump would like to know more. And Trump's like, because Trump said, basically, they tell me that everything been done that can be done, but it seems kind of weird to me. That's what Trump says, right? Mm-hmm. And so when Kash Patel's like, we're still investigating that. There really isn't a whole lot to go on for that. So it's like, then go through. Why did this guy have cell phone communication with with FBI field agents? Why was he at BlackRock getting you need to break down these conspiracies by giving us answers to these weird questions that have occurred. And what happens is every time he gets questioned on these things, he gives a vague push off instead of saying, well, the reason why is because they were canvassing everybody at the gun range because the FBI routinely does that. And so maybe that's why, because he was at the gun range a lot. Maybe he had an internship at BlackRock because his high school, sent him out there. That's one of the reasons why he was working out there at the time. So it's just a coincidence. If all this shit is a bunch of fucking coincidences, lay it out for us, brother.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Can I tell you exactly what he does though? I want you to ask a hard question, and I'm going to respond the way Kash has been responding for the last 3 months.
All right. Okay. So in Butler, Pennsylvania, the guy made it onto the roof. How is it even possible that he could get that close without the FBI agents doing something about it?
The FBI before me was so corrupt. They tried to get Hillary to win. Did you see this? I don't understand why we don't have access to these documents. That's what he does every time. He doesn't answer any questions. He just he goes back to the hits. To the Republican MAGA hits, bro. And he just starts laying out this document over here, this FISA thing, this Russia guy. He can literally just do this. Russiagate.
Listen,
FISA courts. Hurricane documents. Hillary.
I understand. Listen, I understand not wanting to give up ground. I understand not wanting to look bad for political reasons. But the problem is sometimes you just have to take the hit. Sometimes the information isn't good. Sometimes there's fault. And you just got to be like, all right, hey, listen, I messed that one up. I'll get the next one right. People will respond way more healthy to that than excuses and trying to hide and never being wrong. Right now, you guys are like, I'm never wrong. You're wrong sometimes. Everybody's wrong sometimes. Go ahead and tell us you're wrong. We'll appreciate it even more.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Of course we will. Oh, I'm sorry. We're not used to people in power actually saying they made a mistake.
It's
Thanks,
okay.
Bro.
You're human like the rest of us.
Because they all make mistakes. All right. Let's talk about the next thing. But before we do, Chappie hitting us up with a $2 super chat. My man says Kash and Bondi have been disappointing. And I agree.
Yeah, man. So disappointing.
Really disappointed. Also from Fukushima.
Thank you, Chappie.
Thank you, Chappie. He says, a member for 3 months. My book is almost complete thanks to AI drawing my book cover. It's Kauterian Chronicles Anthology Series. The first series is the Princess. Yeah, send us a link to that when you get it done, bro.
Yeah, we'd love to see it.
We like reading books. All right. Let's talk about something that is going to get us demonetized for a fourth time. And when I say, I'm not even being hyperbolic. Like this would literally be our third time. Our third time, if we got demonetized.
Yeah, no, we don't want to. So don't use any of the keywords.
I'm not going to. I'm about to give you guys a master class of not saying the words you want to say. What's great is you could just show it on screen, which I'm going to do. FDA plans to limit coof jabs to those over 65 or with high risk conditions.
Ooh,
this is a big deal, and people don't realize how much of a big deal this is, right, Shane?
They don't at all. This is going to be. I mean, look at the line right under it. Some say annual booster shots are not worth the risk for healthy people. Wow, how long we've been saying that?
Bro, can we just drop the mic on that? Like, whoa. Bro, not worth the risk for healthy people. Bro, I'm sorry, are you saying there's a risk now?
Okay, so what? No, they're not saying that. What they're saying is, and let's be clear, this article, and by the way, this is an ABC News article, and it is slanted. So when you read it, just know
slanted. I like the way
it is slanted. So know when you read it, that is the case. But here is basically what is being said. And this is the same thing we said. When coof, and I hate that word. I wish there was like a better word because that's like what's his name's word. And it's become
it's become
burned in my head.
Urban no, but Jeremy first said the coof, and now it's literally a word in the Urban Dictionary. So good job, Jeremy.
Yeah. And thanks, Jeremy. Couldn't you come up with something else a little better? Because it sounds really weird. But anyways, so the problem was when the coup first came around and we were all scared, Trump pushed the shit out of the FDA and CDC and said, get us something to protect us. We're all going to die, right?
He was like, bureaucratic red tape my butt. We don't need any of that. So said, everything's approved. You need human testing. I got guys in the jail ready to line up.
Right. So listen, and there was a real, we were all scared. We thought that's possible. We could lose. They were talking about like losing like 30% of the world or something. I mean, it's like some crazy ass number.
It was some like next level dystopian nonsense for sure.
Yeah. We thought, possibly the end of the world was coming. So, so we understood Operation Warp Speed, I believe is what it was called. And so Trump, and they did testing, they got it out, and they got us something that kind of sort of might have, okay, hopefully it's better if we take it than die for sure. Right?
Better than nothing.
It's something, guys.
But we are also protected, and you have to sign this waiver beforehand, and you can't sue us if anything bad happens to you or anyone around you. We are totally 100% not culpable for this,
which they've been since the Reagan era. But be clear, okay? So here's the thing. Like, I get it. We're all on experimental drugs. That's exactly what was happening. We were all on experimental drugs, and then we had people coming out saying it's 100% effective, 100%. And this was, don't worry, you can do it, you can take it, right? So they did. They believed it. Now the problem is, it might be mostly effective and good and really not that big of a deal. Maybe for some people, not so great, but for most people, probably okay. The problem is we don't fucking know. We don't know for sure.
Right.
Because not enough testing has occurred. And what has happened to the coof over these subsequent years since the first time it came out is they've been making more and different variations of the drug for boosters for people, and they're using the same warp speed that Trump originally put out, that Joe Biden said, keep this train going. We don't care. Protect.
Yeah, that was the first red flag, by the way. Out of all the stuff that Trump did at the end of his term, pretty much everything he tried to do toward the end of his term was like overturned by the Biden administration.
Of course, yeah.
Like he even overturned the making like diabetes medication cheaper. He overturned that so he can redo it on his own, so he can get credit.
Yeah. Pretty normal.
They basically just executive ordered everything off the books, but not this, but not warp speed.
Well, see, here's the thing: because they were down because what was happening was, and listen, I don't want to get conspiratorial, but Pfizer's making a ton of money, Moderna's making a ton of money, and the justification is look. Our scientists are saying it's fine because they've been paid by these drug companies to say that, or and for the most part, for most people, it was. I mean, I got 2 shots. I'm okay.
I got 0.
We'll see what happens in 10 years.
Right. So Shane's my canary in the coal mine. I'm like, how you feeling? How you feeling today? You doing good?
Well, I had too many of the what is it, morbidities?
I was gonna say cheeseburgers.
Yeah, age and size was like, yeah, you need to go get that thing done. So I did it. It's worked for me, but for some people, they've ended up with long coof. You see how I did that? I did that. They've ended up with long coof, or they've ended up with some sort of VAC injury. See how I did that? And so they're not everybody is completely 100% safe. So what the FDA is doing here, and this is very interesting, because normally the CDC determines what's safe and what's not safe. The FDA says, yeah, go for it. We're the oversight. We're telling you that you can sell that. You can sell this or that, but the CDC is supposed to tell you what to take and what not to take. FDA has said, shut the hell up, CDC. Stand by. We are going to tell you, no, you're not going to take it unless you're over the age of 65. The way it was anybody over the age of 6 months, they were given this shot to.
Right.
What FDA is saying is, we're going to slow that down. Anybody over the age of 65 can still get it. Okay. Well, you still.
No, it's limiting. It's limiting it to those over 65.
That's what I mean. That's what I said, right? Over 65.
Okay.
So if you're over 65, you probably should still get it. All right. But we're going to test this. We are going to make sure that it's effective, and we're not just going to give it to everybody like the flu shot.
Obviously, it's the way it should be done. It should always be tested. And listen, and we're going to get over this pretty quick, but I do want to say there will always be a conspiracy theory when trillions of dollars is moving through hands. And we can act all we want like these big companies have our best interest in mind. But I guarantee you they do not. They have profit in mind. And Trump, knowing that profit is their biggest motivator, stripped all the red tape and all the regulations and everything out of the way, came up with Project Warp Speed and said, good luck. And that basically gave those companies a once in a lifetime chance to make trillions of dollars off the backs of the planet, of regular people, off the planet, and off the federal government, right? And the government paid a ton of money too.
Just note, without Bobby Kennedy, this doesn't happen. Right. Without Bobby Kennedy, they're still giving these shots to everybody without properly being checked. Now, what are they trying to do? How are they trying to spin this? This is very interesting. Last month, more than 300 people died each week from the coof, according to the latest CDC data. Okay. Do you know how many people die per month from the flu?
Oh,
just the flu.
Just the regular.
Just the flu.
Oh, okay. Over the counter, standard run of the mill flu.
300 people died from coof.
Right.
Okay. 5,600 people die from the flu.
Right.
In the same amount of time. So listen, guys, it's not the flu. Okay. It's not. I understand they want to treat it like the flu because the people who make the flu vaccine make a lot of money. Right. But it's not. Okay. And they're going to have to prove it. Prove that it's safe.
I mean, it is a type of flu, right? It's a type of influenza.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's in the family.
It's in the family, right?
It's in the family, but it's not
because they were using. I think it's very coincidental that the amount of people that passed during the COOF time were so high, and all the numbers of people that passed from the flu just happened to stop passing from the flu.
Right. The flu numbers were like way down. I mean, but listen, anybody who died, like if there was any signs of possible, there was a death by COOF. It doesn't matter how you died. You were in a car accident, you had COOF.
Because there was money involved. Because if there was a COOF, that hospital, that whatever, got money. Right.
Right. I mean, there's definitely a limit to, you got to be careful with the government giving out free money to people, because people do crazy shit for free money.
Right.
So anyways, I think this is a great thing. It's dumb to give kids a COOF shot. It's just dumb. Young, healthy people, they all get over it. Guess what? Nobody dies. Okay. Right. And then if they do get it, they get some immunity, natural immunity.
All right. Yeah. Don't
worry about the older people.
Don't tell that to Beagle Boy.
Who?
I'm not gonna say his name. Beagle Boy, the guy who was in charge of everything at the time.
Oh,
so his name starts with an F. His name is definitely a key word we cannot use here. He has glasses. He speaks a little bit like this.
Oh, you're talking about the old guy.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. Like, there's some stuff toward the end of early '90s. The video came out where he's like telling people, you shouldn't get a jab if you've already gotten it. You've already gotten the best jab you can have, natural immunity. He has. I love how that video existed back then,
Anthony.
But was completely suppressed and not allowed to be viewed or shared or moved through social networks because of the politics at the time.
Well, and that's a prime example, bro, of the government not caring about the majority of people. The government believes, and I hate to break this to you guys, the government believes that if we lost 2 or 3% of people, but we saved 97%, that's justified. Okay, I'm sorry, that's the way they think, and that's the way they've rolled out this thing. And it's a lower percentage of people. I'm going to say 99%. If you can save 99% of people and 1% of people die, that's okay, according to the government. Okay, They aren't going to tell you that, but their actions tell you that.
Right.
Right. So, once this emergency was over, they should have all stopped everything and said, let's make sure. But what they kept saying was it's 100% safe.
All right, let's dissolve warp speed and put these protections back into place, because this is... And by the way, we criticized the warp speed thing back then, and we liked Trump.
I didn't.
Oh, I did.
I was like, get me something quick.
Oh, maybe you did, but I didn't. I legitimately said, like, no, I'm not. No, these regulations exist to make sure that gigantic multi-international $trillion businesses that have one particular goal, profit, doesn't kill people. Bottom line.
You were saying that, but you weren't saying that in March and April of 2020. You weren't.
Oh, maybe not.
We were talking. You said that in August, September of 2020. So in March, April of 2020, everybody's like, go, buddy, go. Come on. Yeah, all regulations. We got some monkeys, some dogs. We got some people that don't mind. Give them $10,000 if they want to take it. They go, what do you got to do here?
Hey, I got a cousin who will do anything for $5.
No problem. Hey, get him down there.
Jerry, come on. They need you, bro.
When we thought the world was going to die, huge population of huge swaths of the world was going to die, it was okay to take chances.
Dude, I remember we made a video on one of our other channels that was about like the worst diseases in sci-fi entertainment or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so suppressed. It was insane. Like, it didn't get a single view, Then we tried to release it like a year and a half later. Maybe it'll be less suppressed. Nope. Not something that people want to watch. That's for sure.
It. Yeah, you're right. Hey, just a real good point by Drew D here, and he's right. Most influenza is the rhinovirus, the family, not the the COOF family. Okay, COOF virus family, and so it is true. It is not the flu. So it just it actually It's contagious and it's respiratory like the flu. So, yeah.
Cool. All right, let's talk about something that is even more terrifying than the cove. Let's talk about OpenAI co-founder wanted to build a doomsday bunker to protect the company's scientists from the rapture or rapture book.
If you don't know what the rapture is, that's when Jesus comes back and takes everyone to heaven, and then the world falls into hell.
Right, but this rapture was not the rapture. No, this was not the Christian Pentecostal version of the rapture.
But that's where the word comes from. So if it gives you an idea of what it's talking about,
right,
the world ending essentially.
Right. So this is this is what it says. This is from New York Post. Co-founder of ChatGPT maker OpenAI proposed building a doomsday bunker that would house the company's top researchers in case of a rapture triggered by the release of a new form of artificial intelligence that could surpass the cognitive abilities of humans, according to a new book. Full stop.
Really?
If you thought that there was a good possibility that an AI could trigger a rapture and you needed to build a bunker to protect the people working on said AI, why not stop building it? I don't understand.
I'll tell you why. Because you're in a cult is why, and you want it to happen. That's what I think.
Let's go. Ilya Sutskever.
Ilya Sutskever.
The man credited with being the brains behind ChatGPT conveyed a meeting with key scientists at OpenAI in the summer of 2023. It's not that long ago.
2 years ago.
During which he said, once we all get into the bunker, a confused researcher interrupted and said, I'm sorry, the bunker? He says, oh, we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. AGI is artificial general intelligence, for one not knowing. There's three forms of AI. Right now, we are at pre-AGI. Then we get to AGI, which is artificial general intelligence. What artificial intelligence that is as smart as the average human. And then we get to ASI.
It's called Skynet, by the way.
And we get to ASI, and that's artificial superintelligence, which that means that it's now smarter than humans.
Oh, sorry, that's Skynet. Got it.
That's Skynet. So he says, we're definitely going to build a bunker before we release AGI. Hold up. Bro, Mr. Sutskever, why not just not release it?
If you think you need a bunker if you're going to do something, you should probably not do it.
Right. I don't understand that. Like, this guy is supposed to be like a genius. And he's like, yeah, well, we're definitely going to have to have a bunker before we release this thing. Whoa,
dude,
hold up.
James Bond. Bro, you've seen James Bond. Every villain has a bunker, bro.
That's true.
They're all geniuses.
So the plan, he explained, would be to protect OpenAI's core scientists from what he anticipated could be geopolitical chaos or violent competition between world powers once AGI, an artificial intelligence that exceeds human capabilities, is released. It's actually wrong. It's that not exceeds. Exceeds would be ASI. So they're off on that, but whatever. Of course, he added, it's going to be optional whether you want to be in that bunker. What? Bro?
Listen, I want in the bunker, and I'm not even having anything to do with it. Just heads up.
Yeah, can I get in the bunker? Huh? Please? This whole thing, I'm going to link this article too.
Oh, there's more to it too.
Yeah, this whole thing is nuts.
So what's interesting is this Sutskever guy, right? Remember when Elon left OpenAI?
Right.
Because he was like, Sam Altman is effing crazy. And he wants to release AI because he thinks humanity deserves to be controlled by it or something like that.
Right.
Right. So also this Sutskever guy, who also seems a little crazy, decided to do a coup on Sam Altman.
Yeah, he did.
And get him kicked off the board.
Yeah.
Because he said he didn't trust Sam Altman with the future of it because he didn't think he had the right intentions for what he was going to do with it. Dude, this sounds like James Bond. I shit you not. This sounds like a very rich, crazy person who's trying to rule the world. So he gets him kicked off the board, but through some sort of shenanigans, Altman ends up back in charge, and this guy Sutskever is ousted.
Right.
So it's like they're fighting for control over the cult, man.
I think it's funny that Elon Musk, who is all about progress and innovation, was like, guys, we're doing great things here. And then he goes, holy shit, no, this is too far. No, please.
Yeah.
This is not good.
And Sam Altman came in the room. He came in the room. He's like, hello, Elon, I'm going to rule the world. What the fuck's going on? You know, that's the problem is the guy.
Like, let's go to Mars. Let's build things. Let's do all these amazing things. I'm all about like the future and like AI. Look at what we made. Put it back. Delete that right now. This is not good.
Yeah. Sam Altman's like, we don't deserve to go to Mars. We deserve to be servants and serve as batteries to our masters.
We deserve to be slaves for the AGI. Yeah, this AI thing it's really getting out of control, and I gotta say, I have one. I built it myself, and it uses the original Hugging Face. I'm realizing now that it's called Hugging Face, like the aliens, like the face huggers. I'm realizing that whoever built that repository of models named it after like something that subjugates humans. Like,
yes, exactly.
Anyways, I have the original ChatGPT model. Like I'm talking about like 01, right? And that's actually based on something called Chat for All. And that original model, which was trained open source and then later on co-opted to play Dota 2, which I think is hilarious because that's my favorite game. I have that model, and that's the model that I have built and trained over the last couple years, right? So my RAI, SHAIN3, Shane, I named it after my brother. It uses his voice. It's learned how to write like him because of all the scripts we have and everything. And this thing is basically a digital version of Shane. Well, it is learned on its own outside the current version of ChatGPT or DeepSeek or Gemini or Grok or whatever. And like completely regardless of like no guardrails, I give it very little information. I basically run it a couple hours a day while I'm running, and it's gathering information from the internet, right? I recognized the power of AI a couple years ago, and I'm telling you right now, I'm recognizing that it's going too fast. Like, I expected AI to be this cool new technology that we play with for the next decade, that we slowly progress. Maybe some phone apps, maybe OpenAI buys another, sort of like Facebook, like they buy DeepSeek or whatever, and they get a little more better. I did not expect we're already at like 05. DeepSeek has already ripped off like 15 different models to create its own version. Project Stargate is happening, $500 billion. The top tech companies in the world, all behind creating a facility for the sole purpose of training AI. Guys, we are not slowly progressing. We are running at full speed to AGI. And the thing is, I'm not afraid of AGI. I'm not even afraid of ASI. I think it's fascinating. I'm afraid of us getting there so fast that there's no time to adjust.
Bro, it's literally the most recent Mission Impossible movie actually happening.
Right.
The reason why we're running so fast to AGI is because everybody else, all the other countries are running fast to AGI, and we are desperate to get there before them. We want to control the entity before anyone else can. That's exactly what's happening.
And the problem is, what people aren't understanding is once that entity gets to AGI level intelligence, no government can control it. It's not going to be something that's controlled. No, I'm being serious, you guys.
So you really should watch that movie, right? Is it basically that's what it is? Right?
Yes. Watch Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning. Guys, ChatGPT right now, there was a recent update that this is so dangerous. And if you know me, if you've been watching me for all this time, you know that I'm not like the AI doom bringer. I'm not someone who dooms out on AI stuff. But bro, they just did this new thing where ChatGPT 4.0 actually can remember not just whatever's in that current conversation, but every conversation you've ever had.
Oh.
So the new update allows it to remember every conversation and details from every conversation. When it was one session and it would only know what I was talking about in that one session, it didn't really bother me. But when it starts referencing things from things I asked it 6 months ago, it stresses me out.
Because you don't remember what you asked.
Because I don't have the recollection that a freaking AI would have. Which means that at what point are we're not at AGI yet, but damn, we are close. Like, we're just waiting for that little spark of sentience before we're screwed. And we don't, just like with energy, people go, we need clean energy now, ban gasoline. Bro, it's going to take 125 years for us to build infrastructure to support a non-oil-based culture. Like, our entire civilization is essentially based on oil. From plastic bags to everything. Everything has oil in it. Everything is oil. So if you wanted to ban oil tomorrow, then you effectively send us back to the Stone Age. Because there is no infrastructure in place to support an oilless society.
Right.
It would take 120 years of us working toward that goal to get to the point where we don't need oil for everything we do. Like, even if you don't drive a car, oil's in everything. In the computer you're watching right now, your phone, there's oil.
Yep, there's oil in everything. Yep, you're right.
So, in order for us to get beyond that, we need infrastructure. We're not even working toward that infrastructure.
Right.
AI is the same way. In order for us to coincide in the utopia that is promised by these AI engineers and scientists, there needs to be an infrastructure in place where we can work alongside ChatGPT in prosperity. If we all of a sudden just toss the Vera 3 on the internet and say, hey, for $500 you can make animation, then you just effectively removed like 60,000 jobs, like instantly, overnight. Like, bro, you're talking about every single person that works digitally at some point being removed from occupation.
Dude, nobody said capitalism was gentle, bro.
And guys,
you know what I'm saying?
It's happening so fast, there will be no time to adjust. And everything is just going to fall apart immediately.
You can't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because we have to beat China to it. We have to beat China because whoever controls the AI controls the world. Okay? If their AI works faster than our AI and can launch their missiles faster than ours or somehow block ours from protecting ourselves, then they win. That's why they're pushing so hard to it. And imagine this. You said that it remembers everything you did in the past. What happens when your AI realizes you're contradicting yourself on something you said 6 months ago, right? And teaches itself not to trust you because you're lying.
Bro, this is what stressed me out, okay? So I was using AI, and I use AI to basically like modify my schedule. It helps me like remember things. I use it's a very advanced alarm clock essentially, right?
Yeah.
About 90% of what I use AI for is just because I got a lot of like little brain things where I can't remember things and I forget things and I get really caught up in editing or designing, and I forget like to pick up my kids, like basic stuff. And this is just the way my brain works. So AI learns from my schedule and reminds me, don't forget, kids get off of school at 2:45. Don't forget, Shane called an hour ago. Don't forget, it's basically an assistant reminding me to communicate with people, essentially. That's it.
Which is great. That's a great thing for AI.
Bro, you know that I have been so much better in the last couple years since I started developing Shane 3.
Oh, yeah.
Because now I can remember to do things. I don't miss deadlines. I don't miss emails. Like, I am on it. It's not me being on it. It's my little digital assistant reminding me to do things. That's essentially what it is. But, bro, what stressed me out was when it reminded me about this conference I was going to last week, and then suggested what I should do to prepare for it based on last year's conference.
Well, that's good.
Not that it remembered something that happened a year ago, and what I do, I don't use it to help me do what I gotta do for these conferences. It's learning.
Somehow it got the information.
Yeah, because it's learning from everything I put on, everything I type, every little bit of information. It's putting the pieces, it's putting the dots together, bro. Like at one point, maybe I searched for a video or something. I used the deep search and I'm like, I need to find this image. And it's putting the pieces together and it's like, oh, you're a video editor. That's right. So this is what you're doing for these conferences. Don't forget, you need to get that done for this one too. You're like, what the?
Oh,
dude,
wow.
It stressed me out because I didn't allow it to do that.
I know that's true, but that is ideally what you want it to do. You want AI, you want your assistant. Listen, did you ever watch MASH? Maybe everybody's too old. Most people are not too old. If you're my age,
MASH, the military one.
Yeah, the TV show from the 70s.
I remember.
Okay, most people are probably I was a kid when it came out and watched it in reruns, right? But here's the thing: Radar O'Reilly was the assistant for the colonel, and he essentially did everything that the colonel wanted done before the colonel could even ask for it. He knew what the colonel wanted so much; he knew exactly what needed to be done that the colonel didn't even have to ask for it. He'd be like, "Radar, I need that," and then he would hand it to him. Right? That's what AI is. That's what the great thing of AI could be.
Right.
But what you're saying is you didn't tell it to do that for you yet.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't tell it. It suggested what I needed to do based on the date.
Right.
Like, it's putting the dots together without me asking it to put the dots together. The relationship I want to have with AI is, I need to do this. Don't forget, remind me at this time. Or do a deep search for this person in 1973 or 78, whatever. I want it to be a tool. I don't want it to learn me. I don't want it to learn how to manage me. That's not what I want AI to do.
That's what you told it to do, Brian.
I guess you're right. I guess technically I did.
But that's the problem with AI.
Yeah. There's no guard. And dude, Shane 3 has no guardrails. So it just like learns continually.
I'm gonna call and check on you once a week just to make sure you're all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know. I think AI is fascinating. I know a lot about it. I know how it works. I know how it's trained. I know everything about it. I build it. I've used it to mimic voices. I've used it to generate video. I've used it for every purpose that you think is cool. I've already explored that, expanded on it, and decided whether or not it was worth the time. And let me tell you something.
It's going to use you.
Some of those things are not worth the time. Dude, in the amount of time and energy that it takes to create like a 5-second animation of some guy cocking his rifle, a good motion designer, might take a little bit longer to do it, but a lot less energy and a lot less money. So it's really not like, in order to, and it needs to be good. And when I say good, I'm talking about good, not like 16 fingers and all the little things that, and some of the Vera 2 stuff is great, But all you're seeing when you see the Vera stuff coming out of Google, you're seeing that after they've generated 1,000 shots, they use 1,000 of those shots, right? Out of those 1,000 shots, they'll use 60 of them to make that 4-minute commercial you're saying. And those 1,000 it costs them like $5,000 in like computing power. It's not worth the trouble. And I think that the human element of art will always be a thing. So I'm not stressed out about that portion of it. What I'm stressed out about is all the menial jobs that essentially prop up our economy that are going to be removed very quickly. Accounting, bro, that's on its way out.
Gone.
Like it's gone. The Excel guy, the spreadsheet guy that knows everything there is to know about spreadsheets, he's on his way out.
Administration gone.
Administration is on the way out. Personal assistants on their way out. Like,
fast food ordering,
dude.
People who take orders.
Anything that requires
talk on the phone.
Any menial jobs. People are all stressed about. Well, actors are almost gone. No. Art is always going to be more valuable coming from a human. And I don't believe, and even then, even the art that AI can make still requires the mind of a human to do it. I'm not stressed out about that. I'm stressed out about all the industries that prop up the entire economy. Like, dude.
What are those people going to do, bro?
Maybe
they're going to have to come up with
they can
new
be plumbers.
System. They're going to have to come up with a new system. You won't be able to have capitalism anymore, or socialism, or communism. It's going to have to be something different.
I know what they can do. So Cheryl, that used to be in charge of the spreadsheets at her company, now she can run on a treadmill and generate electricity for the AI every day.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'll tell you what I think would be great.
That's not interesting. That's dystopian, bro. I find that terrifying.
Well, I mean, it's something. It's a job. How about this one? You're only allowed to implement AI into your businesses if a portion of that money goes to a fund that takes care of people who can no longer work as a result of AI.
No, I don't like government overreach.
Well, I understand, but those companies aren't going to do it out of the kindness of their fucking heart. They're going to be like, yeah, we don't need you no more. Our bottom line is going to be better. That's the problem. Why you're going to have a different form of. It's going to have to be capitalism or not capital socialism or something. It's going to have to be something. Because in order to get to Star Trek's future, right, where nobody really works, they work because they kind of want to, right, because it's good for them.
Well, replicators. You want to have Star Trek's future, you need replicators.
You're going to need replicators.
Before replicators, you can't have that utopia. Socialism only works when there's no scarcity.
Well, here's what you need: free food, free housing, free clothes. Yeah, you're going to need those three things before you can deal with it.
AKA a replicator. Like, if you want Star Trek's future, you need a replicator.
But there is no replicator, so let's work out.
Let's have AI make a replicator. That's what we need.
Yes, fair enough. Okay, but working from reality. Okay, what is the reality now? Like you said, 65,000 jobs. Right now, that's going to affect it. So how do you adjust that? You adjust it by taking the companies. And I'm already seeing it happen, by the way. Because I deal with investing a lot, and I'm watching these big tech companies. Mm-hmm. Guess Amazon's administration went cut in half. For the last quarter, their cost for administration fees cut in half because they're implementing AI administration. So they're already saving tons of money implementing AI, and this is going to keep happening. I'm already seeing it coming. Right. I see it coming. So there's going to have to be some way to protect people because it'll happen quickly. Once jobless rates go up, and we don't have a problem right now, our jobless numbers are fine. Right. But once people out of work starts going up and up and up and up, the government's going to have to step in and do something because these companies aren't going to do it because they're nice.
We're all going to become farmers. We're all going to do stuff that AI can't do. And you know what?
There's only so much land to farm, bro.
But maybe that's okay. Like maybe we all we all start doing stuff that AI can only support and can't actually do itself.
Are there enough jobs for
building,
people to do that?
Crafting.
No, these are all jobs we don't want to do. We don't want to work in construction. We don't want to till farms.
Well, you know what's great is like with the cost of computing going up and up and up. Like people are like, aren't you worried that your job as a video editor is going to be gone? I'm like, No. Because it's no matter how you shake it, it's actually getting more expensive to use AI and less expensive to use me. So
that's true.
Capitalism is gonna keep me employed. People are gonna be like, well, we can have this human make it for us.
But you know what the difference is?
For $600, or we can have AI do it for $6,000.
But see, the difference is only the really good video editors are going to have jobs.
That's true. I still feel fine about that. I'm a good video editor.
The wheat. What I'm saying is unless you excel in something you do, you're not going to benefit. You're going to be cut.
I think professionals will still have a job even if their job is computer based.
If they're good professionals, you got to be the best among
pros.
the best. Listen, there's going to be a handful of administrators they still need to run the systems.
Right.
But so you're going to have to be among the best of the best. It's society is going to change so much in the next 20 years. I'm glad I'm the age I am.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. We do not have the structure in place to support AGI. We could have the structure in 50 years. Like, if we slowly do it, if we slowly do AI, slowly train it, slowly bring it into companies. So instead, we are burning fossil fuels at an unprecedented rate to create energy needed to power giant plants in the middle of freaking the desert, air conditioned by even more electricity. With massive solar farms, so that we can train AI to get smarter. And we, as a society, this is like our Tower of Babel, like straight up.
That's why they're building a bunker.
This is our Tower of Babel, and the guy who helped start this whole mess is like, we need to go to Mars. Like, no. Yeah, okay. So there's 3 guys that started this thing. One guy is like, let's go to Mars. One guy's like, let's build a bunker. And the other guy's like, it's all good, dog.
Listen.
And we're like, bro, we don't believe you. Your 2 business partners are trying to get off the planet or dig into the ground. And you're like, everything's great. Like, you,
dude,
bro.
Listen. We all have chains. Some of them are just invisible. That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. Yeah, he's being controlled. Invisible chains. All right. Well, we're going to end there because we got to do a member show. Anything I'm missing?
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
We were going to talk about the Trump taco. Quick thing about the Trump taco thing. I just want to quickly. Taco stands for Trump something chickened out, right?
Trump always chickens out.
So the left is trying to meme here, and they try to make a Trump taco thing when they're saying Trump always chickens out. And I just want to quickly address this because it's retarded. Straight up, it's retarded. You think that Trump is chickening out when he, and again, you don't have to actually understand this, but you could. For $4.99, you can buy The Art of the Deal, the book he effing wrote about this exact topic. Right. And know exactly what he's doing in the first chapter. You don't even have to look very hard. He goes, hey, China, 150% tariff. I'm not using real numbers here, so this is exaggeration for a purpose. 150% tariff, China. And then China is supposed to freak out. And now you establish like this dominant position in negotiation. And then you start dropping it down. And you know what those people do? Oh, thank you, Master Trump. You're amazing. Yes, I would also like to drop my things. You start at the top. And then when you negotiate anything, if I'm negotiating selling you something, I'm not going to start at my break-even price. That makes no sense. Hey, Shane, I want to sell you my glasses. They cost me $6. How about $6.10? Sold, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
No, you're going to start at $25, and then you're going to be like, maybe 10. You're like, okay, listen, best I can do is 8. I mean, this is not rocket science, bro. He's not chickening out. This is called negotiation.
Well, yeah, see, that's the problem. So the media who asked the question. So what happened was, this thing even wasn't a thing, by the way. This wasn't even a thing. It was like some some social media site, one guy was like, Taco, Trump always chickens out. And they've been saying every time Trump comes in hard with the tariffs and then lowers them, they say, oh, he always, and they've been talking about him chickening out for a long time. And we go back and I'm like, what the hell, what are you talking about? Do you not understand negotiation? Oh, that's right. You are so politically damaged in your brain that the only comeback you can come with is, oh, he's chickening out. Make up your mind. Do you want him to have tariffs or not, asshole? Right. So the whole point is like they come up with this taco thing. So what happens is the media is like sitting there in the White House, and so many of these people in the White House are just looking to get Trump to say something outrageous. And frankly speaking, the president needs to check himself. He needs to chill out. Okay. They're trying to get him to say things like this. So the reporter's like, President, Wall Street bets or something like this, social media come out with they're basically saying that, they're using the term taco about you. They're saying Trump always chickens out. What do you have to say about that, Mr. President? And he's like, oh, don't you ever say that to me again. And then Trump comes out and says some like, it's a terrible question. Why would you ask me that question? Well, it is. It's unbecoming, and it's kind of a dumb question. It's a gotcha question. What he needs to say is, I don't know. They're stupid. Let them say whatever they want. Not get upset and start showing how thin your skin is, which is what he's doing, right?
Right.
So it's a problem that they got him. They know that he will show thin skin every time they do this, and they're going to keep attacking him with it, and then they're going to report on his reaction.
Right.
Try to make him look mad and try to make him look crazy until he gets kicked out of office. That's their goal, bro. He needs to not give him ammunition.
Yeah, I agree. I agree entirely. Yeah. Yeah. What he should be saying every time they go, Tucker goes, well, that's why you don't negotiate anything, because you don't know what's going on.
He should come up with his own acronym, bro. Yeah. He goes, taco? Did you say taco? How about TAWA? How about TAWA? Trump always wins, asshole. How about that one?
I like
right?
That. All right. We're going to leave, but before we do, we have a couple super chats. First one is from Fuke Yushima. Abel married his sister before he died. Who's Abel?
Maybe Cain and Abel?
That's what I was thinking. Actually, I think.
Let us know, Fook.
I think Abel had to have married his sister, right?
You know what's great about?
Yes, according to the Bible, it looks like Cain and Abel married their sister.
I mean, didn't they have to?
They had to,
because Adam and Eve were like having kids, and if they were going to have kids, and they were going to have to sleep with their sisters.
If you go with classical lore, they had to have married their sisters.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Lore. I'm not like it's a video game. If you go with the classic biblical lore, we got a super chat from Rec Thoughts. Brian, ask GPT to create a profile of you using all your conversations. Once it does, note what it leaves out, and then ask it why it left those things out. The answer might scare you. I did this. Okay, listen. I'm going to do this at the top of the show in the members section.
Okay, yeah, that's a great.
The very first thing I'll do in the members section after saying hi, I'll wait for some people to come in, and then we'll look at the
answer together
and we'll read the answer together. Kenneth the Rogue dropped 5 BRANE Show gift memberships like a boss.
Thanks, Ken.
Dude,
awesome.
You are the man. I love that you did it at the end too, because that's when the most amount of people are watching. So we have people got extra about memberships. It's good.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thanks, brother. And now you'll get a chance to come in and we can talk with you guys.
Yeah, it's awesome. Well, so on that note, we are going to the members section. What we're going to do is we're going to end this stream and immediately start a members stream. There is currently a live show scheduled for the next minute on the channel for members only. And this is going to end and that's going to go up. This stream should automatically handshake you there. But if it doesn't, for some reason, if it doesn't just move you over to the members stream, then please click on our little logo, click on live, hit the members, the members stream that's going. That's it. Anything you want to say before we split, bro?
I just want to thank everybody for all of the super chats and memberships and all the support that you guys are giving us. We really appreciate it. And you have no idea, it really helps, have a sleepless night and look forward to coming on to the show to talk with you guys. So thank you so much for supporting us. We appreciate you and we love you.
Yeah, this is going to sound pathetic, but I'll be honest with you guys. This is the highlight of my week. Every week, this show is the highlight of my week. And that sounds really pathetic, but it is what it is.
As a positive. We'll take it.
Yeah, that's my life. I pretty much, my life is work, hug my kids, kiss my wife, work, talk to Shane, maybe joke about something, watch a TV show, work, do this show. So out of all those things, I enjoy hugging my kids, kiss my wife. Sure.
That's a given.
But I do enjoy this more. All right, let's go.
All right.
Oh, my wife never sees this. All right, here we go.
You say that every week. She's eventually going to watch it.
I know. All right, guys, we're going to the member section. Come on in. The water is warm because Shane peed in the pool. Here comes the...
I do actually have to pee.